I want to start this deep dive with a name.
Okay.
It's a name that, to me, it sounds like it belongs in the pages of some high-stakes theological thriller. Or maybe, a lost chapter of history that was redacted for being too dangerous. Raziel?
It certainly has a specific gravity to it, doesn't it? It feels heavy.
It really does. And looking at the stack of source material we've pulled for today, I mean, texts on Jewish mysticism, some deep cuts of Masonic lore, heavy Kabbalistic analysis, it seems like that gravity is, well, it's entirely justified.
It is.
But before we get totally lost in the weeds, let's start with the basics for everyone listening. Who or what is Raziel?
Well, the best entry point is actually the name itself. In Hebrew, the root word raz translates to secret or mystery.
Ah.
So when you say Raziel, you are literally saying the secret of God.
The secret of God. Okay, that is a fantastic title.
It is.
It implies we aren't just talking about your standard angelic messenger here. This isn't Gabriel showing up with a trumpet or a birth announcement. This sounds more like the keeper of the classified files.
That is precisely the distinction the sources make. If you look at the angelic hierarchy in Jewish mysticism.
The Merkabah and Kabbalistic traditions.
Exactly. Raziel is unique. The lore places him right at the center of the action.
So effectively dwelling within the curtain closest to the throne of God.
Which, in this cosmology, is the ultimate prime real estate.
The very best.
But his proximity has a specific function. He is the scribe.
Scribe.
He hears everything spoken from the divine, the raw, unrefined creative intent, and he records it. He's the mediator between the completely unknowable, infinite nature of God and, well, the specific revelations that eventually filter down to us.
Okay, I want to pause on that because it sets up the mission for this entire deep dive. If his name is secret, there's an inherent tension there. Is he hiding things from us, or is he helping us find them?
That is the core question.
Because the secret of God could sound like a gatekeeper, someone standing there with a do not enter sign.
And the answer, according to these texts, lies in the difference between information and gnosis.
Gnosis being intuition, or something more.
Deeper than that, information is data. You can know the date of a battle, the chemical formula for water.
Right.
That's information. Gnosis is direct experiential knowledge. It's the difference between reading a menu and actually tasting the food.
I see. So he's not giving you a lecture, he's giving you an experience.
Exactly. He's described as the guardian of the flame behind the veil.
The flame behind the veil.
He doesn't hide the truth to keep it from us. He veils it because raw truth is. It's overwhelming. You have to be ready to receive it. It's about capacity.
So it's not about gatekeeping, it's about voltage regulation.
Voltage regulation.
Yeah. If you put a toaster into a power plant, you don't get toast, you get an explosion.
That is a perfect analogy. He is the transformer. He steps down the voltage so we can actually use it.
The guide for those looking for what the sources call the whisper beneath the word.
That's the one.
I love that image. So let's trace this archetype back to its source. To understand this voltage regulator, we have to talk about the book. The Sefer Raziel Hamelach.
The Book of Raziel the Angel. This is a foundational mythic text in this tradition.
And the backstory here is just wild. The legend goes that after Adam is expelled from the Garden of Eden, after the fall, he's in a state of, well, total despair.
He's lost everything.
He's lost that direct connection. He's wandering in the wilderness, separated from the source. And Raziel, either out of compassion or, specific orders, approaches Adam and hands him a book.
Which is a fascinating narrative choice if you think about it.
How so?
Adam just lost paradise, immortality, direct communion with God, and the consolation prize is a textbook.
Right. Sorry about the whole mortality thing. Here's a manual. Good luck.
Okay.
But reading through the source summaries, this wasn't just a self-help pamphlet.
Far from it. This book is described as a compendium of all divine secrets.
The blueprint of reality.
That's it. The source material tells us it contained the knowledge necessary for Adam's descendants to eventually reconstruct their connection to God. It covered everything.
Like what?
The structure of the angelic realms, the movement of the stars, the deep operations of nature, and the magical names of the divine.
So it's essentially the source code for the universe.
Yes.
If reality is a simulation, Raziel just handed Adam the developable documentation.
That is a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Raziel is the custodian of the divine architecture. He understands how the system is built.
And what's crucial for our discussion, especially as we pivot toward Freemasonry later, is the chain of custody of this book, right?
Oh, absolutely. It didn't start with Adam.
I saw this in the notes. It reads like a who's who of biblical mysticism. It gets passed down like a family heirloom.
It does. The legend says the book was passed from Adam to Enoch.
Enoch. Now, he's a massive figure in mysticism, the one who walked with God and was taken up.
Often associated with Metatron, heavenly journeys, all of that. Where Enoch, it eventually goes to Noah.
Which makes practical sense. I mean, if you're going to build an ark that survives a global apocalypse and restart civilization, you probably need some advanced engineering specs.
You need the book.
You definitely need the book.
Exactly. The ark is a microcosm of the world, so he needed the blueprint of the world to build it.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the lineage leads to Solomon.
King Solomon, the builder of the temple.
Correct. And this is where the bridge to Masonic lore is built. Solomon is the central figure of the Masonic tradition. The temple is the central symbol.
I see.
So Raziel stands as this mythic link between the primal, raw creation of Eden and the structured architectural building of the temple. He connects the chaos of nature with the order of the builder.
That connection clarifies a lot. If the goal of the temple is to mirror the cosmos, which is a big theme in sacred architecture, you would need the blueprints of the cosmos to build it right.
And Raziel's the guy holding the blueprints.
Or at least he offers glimpses of them.
Glimpses, but again, only to those who can read the code.
So let's walk into the lodge then. The source material explicitly calls Raziel the inner master within Freemasonry. But if I talk to a Mason, and I know a few, they aren't usually walking around chanting Raziel, Raziel.
No.
I doubt his name is on the meeting agenda next to approving the minutes and, pancake breakfast.
Oh, it certainly is not.
Yeah.
You won't find his name in the standard ritual books or the Constitution. His presence is described as subtle, implicit.
The flame behind the veil.
That's it.
Okay, so if he's not explicitly named, where do we find him? If I'm sitting in a lodge, where is Raziel?
You find him in the concept of light. You see, in the craft in Freemasonry, light is the dominant metaphor. A candidate is brought from darkness to light.
Right.
But the deep dive sources make a crucial distinction here. There are two layers of light.
Outer and inner?
Precisely. The outer light is the moral instruction. Be a good citizen, pay your taxes, treat your neighbor well, be honest, support your community.
That's the social fraternity aspect. It's valuable, it keeps society running, but it's surface level.
It's the be a good guy part.
Which is great, but you can learn that in kindergarten or the Boy Scouts.
Right. But beneath that, there is the inner light. That is Raziel's domain. It's the initiatic knowledge that awakens the soul to its divine origin.
It's the difference between following the rules and understanding why the rules exist in the fabric of the universe.
Spot on.
Can we make that concrete? The source notes gave a few examples of how this shifts the perspective on specific rituals.
Sure. Let's look at the Fellowcraft degree, the second degree in Masonry.
Okay.
On the surface, the ritual instructs the Mason to study the liberal arts and sciences: grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy.
Which sounds like a standard university curriculum from the Middle Ages. The trivium and quadrivium.
It is. And the outer light interpretation is simply, education is good, go learn stuff, be smart.
All right.
But under Raziel's influence, the inner light, the initiate isn't just learning math to balance a checkbook.
Or build a bridge.
Exactly. They are pushed to contemplate the inner significance of number.
So not just 2 + 2 = 4. It's more Pythagorean, right?
That's it. It's asking, what is the one? What is duality? How does geometry reveal the mind of God?
Or take music. It's not just about playing a tune. It's understanding harmonics as the vibrational structure of the cosmos.
You got it. It transforms the subject from the school lesson into a mystical key.
It implies that if you study geometry deeply enough, you'll find God in the angles.
That is the essence of it.
Yeah.
And then there's the Master Mason degree. The source mentions the lion's paw.
Right. This is a specific grip or gesture used in the ritual.
It is central to the third degree. Now, without giving away the specific ritual enactment,
Of course.
the concept is that the candidate is raised using this grip, the lion's paw. Now, literally, physically, it's just a way of lifting someone up.
Sure.
But Raziel's perspective asks, what is actually being raised?
And I'm guessing the answer isn't the guy lying on the floor.
No. The answer is inner awareness. The source states that Raziel teaches us to perceive death not as an end, but as a veil between worlds.
So the raising is an awakening of that perception.
It's a resurrection of consciousness while you are still alive.
That's a powerful shift. It moves a whole thing from a theatrical play, a reenactment of a legend, to a spiritual event.
That is Raziel's role. He challenges the initiate. to look through the symbol, not just at it. He is the teacher of veiled truths.
This leads us into the most technical, but I think the most fascinating part of the research.
The physics of the spirit.
I like that. The sources align Raziel with a specific astrological and Kabbalistic framework. We're talking Gemini, Mercury, and a sphere called Hod.
Yes, this is his engine room, so to speak.
Yeah.
The source aligns him with the zodiac sign of Gemini.
Gemini, the twins, mutable air.
Right. Gemini is all about communication, duality, the intellect, the connection between two things. And naturally, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury,
The messenger.
the messenger, the scribe, the psychopomp who moves between the worlds of the living and the dead. It fits Raziel's persona perfectly.
And Kabbalah.
It takes it a step further. It places Raziel in the sefirah, or sphere, on the tree of life, called Hod.
Hod. And that translates to glory or splendor, right?
It does. But we need to define what Hod actually does in the system. Hod is the sphere of the intellect, of language, of magic, and crucially, of form.
Wait, I want to clarify something here because I don't want to get mixed up.
Go for it.
We've been talking about Raziel as the keeper of divine wisdom, but in Kabbalah, isn't wisdom, Chokmah, a totally different sphere higher up the tree?
That is a brilliant observation, and it's the key to understanding this entire archetype. You're absolutely right.
So what gives?
Chokmah is raw, undefined wisdom. It's like a flash of lightning, pure, unstructured inspiration. But let me ask you, can you capture lightning in a bottle if you don't have a bottle?
No, it just strikes the ground and dissipates. It burns you.
Exactly. Hod is the bottle. Hod is the container. It's the form through which wisdom flows. It's the language, the symbols, the chants, the ritual structures. Without Hod, without Raziel, the wisdom spills everywhere. It's too abstract for us to grasp.
That helps a lot. So Raziel isn't the lightning. He's the architect of the lightning rod. He builds the structure that lets the lightning land safely.
He creates the forms that can hold the divine energy. The source uses that temple blueprint metaphor again here. If wisdom is the presence of God in the temple.
Then Raziel and Hod is the architectural drawing that ensures the walls don't collapse when that presence enters.
Precisely. He teaches us how to read the codes.
So bringing this back to the lodge experience, without this influence, without Raziel, what happens to the ritual?
It becomes rote memorization. It's just people walking around a checkered floor, reciting lines they memorized from a book because that's how we've always done it.
It's empty.
It is. But with Raziel, with that understanding of the inner light, the lecture, charge, and catechism become vehicles for revelation.
It's the difference between reciting a poem phonetically in a language you don't speak.
Yes. Versus reading it in your native tongue and feeling the emotion hit you in the chest.
Exactly. And this leads us to what the source calls the hidden science of Masonry. Raziel is described as the master decoder.
I love that title. Master Decoder. Sounds like he's breaking the Enigma code.
In a way, he is, because the assertion here is that nothing in a lodge is arbitrary.
It's not just interior decoration.
Not at all. Raziel oversees the occult sciences, astrology, alchemy, sacred geometry, numerology. He shows the initiate that every detail is data.
Give us some examples. The source mentioned the compasses.
The angle of the compasses on the altar, the specific orientation of the pillars, the black and white checkered pavement on the floor.
The checkered floor is iconic. It's in every lodge, and frankly, I feel like I see it in pop culture constantly.
It is everywhere. And usually people just think, oh, nice design, very retro.
Sure.
But the master decoder perspective says, look closer. It represents duality, light and dark, active and passive, life and death.
It's the interplay of opposites that creates the ground we walk on. And Raziel is the intelligence that taps you on the shoulder and says, stop looking at the floor and start reading it. What does it tell you about the balance in your own life?
There was another point in the notes about silence that I found really compelling. It seems contradictory for an angel associated with Mercury and language, the scribe, the guy with the book, to also govern silence.
It does seem contradictory until you realize what silence actually is in this context.
Which is?
The source says silence in ritual isn't just quiet time. It's not the absence of noise. It is a pregnant pause.
The space between the words.
Yes. If Hod is the vessel, silence is the space inside the vessel. If you're constantly talking, constantly analyzing, you can't hear the whisper beneath the word we talked about earlier.
It's where the gnosis actually lands.
That's it.
Which brings us to the ultimate silence and the biggest mystery in Freemasonry. We have to talk about the lost word.
The central mystery. The idea that there was a master key, a specific word that was possessed by the original builders, but was lost.
And the ritual is technically a search for it. But I think most people, maybe even some Masons, think of it like a password.
Like a cheat code for reality.
Yeah! Like if you found it written on a sticky note under a rock, you'd have ultimate power, abracadabra, and the bank vault opens.
Right. But Raziel's perspective flips that entirely. He teaches that the word is not a literal name you speak with your mouth. It's not a phonetic sound.
So you can't pronounce it.
You can't pronounce it because it's not a word in the linguistic sense. It is a unifying principle, a vibrational state that restores inner harmony.
The source says Raziel knows the word, but he doesn't speak it. He points toward it.
He does.
So if it's not a word you speak, where do you find it?
The source is very clear. The word is internal. It is never truly lost, only veiled.
Ah, we're back to the veil.
We're always back to the veil with Raziel. The teaching is that the search for the word, the initiation, the struggle, the study, that process is the unveiling.
You are reconstructing the word inside yourself. That completely reframes the quest. It shifts it from a treasure hunt looking for an object to a transformation.
It shifts the focus from information, knowing the password, to illumination, becoming the light.
You don't find the word, you become the word.
That's it.
So let's try to synthesize this for the listener, because we've covered a lot of ground. We have Raziel, the secret of God, the scribe, the architect of the blueprint, the inner engine of the Masonic Lodge. He's the one who turns a social club into a mystery school.
He's the guardian of the flame that does not burn, and the book that is revealed rather than read. That's the core takeaway. He represents the depth of the tradition.
And I think that connects back to our listener, specifically our learner profile.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be a Freemason or a Kabbalist or even religious to appreciate this archetype.
Absolutely not. Whether you are in a lodge or just walking down the street, Raziel represents a specific mode of engaging with the world.
He represents the refusal to accept the surface level.
The drive to be an initiate in your own life.
Yes, to look at your routine, your job, the news, your relationships, and not just see the outer form, but to ask, what is the inner light here?
What is the structure behind this? Why are things built the way they are?
It's an invitation to stop just consuming the world and start decoding it.
To realize that the world is full of symbols if you have the eyes to see them.
I think that's a fantastic place to land. It's an invitation to curiosity.
And wonder.
And wonder. So here is our final thought for you to chew on, straight from the source's reflection. If true mastery isn't about knowing all the facts or having the biggest library, but about walking in wonder at what lies behind the veil,
then what silent whisperings of higher wisdom might you be missing in the noise of your daily life?
what are you looking at when you should be looking through?
Something to think about.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
It was a pleasure.